नास्ति कृपालु गुरवे नमः। ब्रजे वसन्तं नवनीत चौरं गोपाङ्गनानां चदुकूलचौरम् अनन्तजन्मार्जितपाप चौरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि। पादाश्रितानां तु समस्तचौरं श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकान्ति चौरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं हा देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of God and Gurudev, we'll do a short kirtan before I begin my discourse. Gopi jan vallabh shyam Radhe Raman Shyam 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 Shyam Shri Radhe Raman Shyam Radhe Raman Shyam Shri Radhe Raman Shyam Radhe Raman Shyam Gopi jan वल्लभ श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी जन वल्लभ श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी जन वल्लभ श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी जन वल्लभ श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
श्री राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी जन वल्लभ 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 श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण 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 श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी जन वल्लभ 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 श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
श्री राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
श्री राधे रमण श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
जन वल्लभ श्याम राधे रमण श्याम
गोपी 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 जन वल्लभ की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Devotional listeners, now I humbly request your full attention. During the descent of Sri Krishna on earth, there were some very special souls who were also present on earth. These are the gopis. The meaning of the word gopi is one who keeps her love a secret. She conceals her love. She does not manifest it. She does not reveal it. Because it is a principle in love that gopaniyam, gopaniyam, gopaniyam prayatnataha. Love should be kept a secret. Otherwise it loses its intensity. So the gopis keep their love hidden, hence the name, meaning of the word gopi. To the world, the gopis were illiterate women from the village. But who were they in reality? Padma Puran says, Pura maharshayah sarve dandakaranyavasinah drishtva ramam harim tatra bhoktumichansu vigraham. There were sages and ascetics in Dandakaranya, in the Dandak forest. When Bhagwan Sri Ram was in his exile for 14 years, he was roaming in these jungles. He was not allowed to be where civilization was, so he was in the forest, the woods, the jungles, and the sages had his darshan. They saw him. And these were very pure souls. A pure soul, a pure heart is immediately attracted towards God. So the sages of Dandak forest were immediately drawn towards Lord Krishna. And their sanskars were such that they started loving him as the beloved. Although they were in the male form and Bhagwan Sri Ram is in the male form, but these sages, these ascetics, they wanted him to be their beloved. So each and every one of them had a desire, and that is, oh, I wish I were a female and I wish you were my beloved. Bhagwan Ram took note, and these sages have come in the Dwapar Yuga, towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, as the gopis. Some of these gopis are the verses of the Vedas. The verses of the Vedas have assumed form, and they have come in the female form as the gopis. Some of them are the sons of Agni Dev, the god of fire. They all desired the Supreme Lord as their beloved, so they have all come in the female form, the gopis. Amongst the gopis, there are different classes, levels. The third class gopis are the sages of Dandakaranya, Dandak forest, and the sons of Agni, and the verses of the Vedas. And then there are these are the ones who have a desire, a selfish desire to fulfill through Sri Krishna. Now that Bhagwan Ram has come as Krishna, they have all come as gopis and they have a selfish desire. They are not Nishkam, they are Sakam. They are Sakam devotees. And then the second class gopis are the ones who are selfless. And the first class gopis are absolutely selfless and they have come directly from Golok. These are the 8 Mahasakhis. Lalita, Vishakha, Chitra, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Champaklata, Indulekha and Tungvidya. The 8 Mahasakhis, it would not be wrong to say that these are the very reflections of Radharani. हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं कि ये राधा रानी की परछाई हैं, अष्ट महासखियाँ. So there are different levels when it comes to gopis, and the highest ones are, of course, the ones who are completely selfless. This does not mean that we should look down upon the ones who are selfish gopis. Their love is sakam, they have a desire, but we must keep in mind that their desire is only Sri Krishna. They don't desire anything or anyone else. They desire only Bhagwan. This is why our scriptures say, Krishna bhakta sakamopi varanya sevakat khalu nishkamadapi tatkamo yato mokshaya kalpate. Even a sakam, a selfish devotee of Sri Krishna, is praiseworthy and is much greater than even a selfless devotee of, let's say, a devata or some other entity. Kubja is a sakam bhakt. She desires the happiness that Sri Krishna can give her. She wants it only from Sri Krishna. She wants that love of the beloved from Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna stayed with her. He lived with her for some time. He fulfilled her desire. Was Kubja wrong in desiring Sri Krishna as her beloved? Not at all. The end result of this desire is the attainment of divine bliss. It is the attainment of Sri Krishna. So how can this desire be wrong? So this desire is praiseworthy. However, it is much, much better to become a selfless devotee. We say, I'm a selfish devotee of God. What does that mean? I ask Him for things of the world. I love Him, but I ask Him for money. I ask Him for a good life. I ask Him for good health for myself and my family members. So I'm a selfish devotee. In fact, we are not devotees. We are just trying to become devotees, and we are asking Sri Krishna, we are asking God for things of the world. So we are devotees, but of the world, not of Sri Krishna. And we are not selfish devotees, we are only selfish. But these are selfish devotees. They desire only Sri Krishna. They want to see only Sri Krishna. They want to hear only Sri Krishna's words and the sound of His flute. They want only His divine touch. They want to inhale only His divine fragrance. They want to drink the nectar only of Sri Krishna. All their 5 senses desire only Sri Krishna. Every pore of their being desires only Sri Krishna. That's all. But they are selfish in the sense they want Sri Krishna to fulfill their desire of, and they want happiness from Him. What about the selfless ones? The selfless ones, the Nishkam ones, that they're at the highest level, do they not want Sri Krishna? Do they not want to see Him, hear Him, touch Him? Do they not want His touch? Do they not want to drink the nectar of Sri Krishna? Do they not want to inhale the fragrance of Sri Krishna? They do. Otherwise they'll be atheists. An atheist says, I don't want anything to do with God. I don't want to hear his words. I don't want to see him. I want nothing to do with him. Of course, the selfless ones want to see him, hear him, and they want his divine touch. But the difference now is that the selfish one says, I want your happiness and I want it now. The selfless one says, I do desire everything, but only if you desire. Only if it makes you happy, only if it pleases you. When Sri Krishna left for Mathura, he was only 11 and a half. And he would become older whenever he wanted. So we think, he was only 11 and a half, and he was a beloved of the gopis. An 11 and a half-year-old boy, he's not even a teen yet. No. But he used to become older whenever he wanted. So the gopis would see him as their beloved. He was of their age. So when Sri Krishna left the gopis, he went to Mathura, which is not too far away. But the selfless gopis did not go and visit him, fearing that it may disturb him to see them, fearing that he would not be happy seeing them, so they did not ever go to him until they were called. So the selfless gopi says, only I want to see you, hear you, I want your divine touch, but only if and when it is convenient for you. And if you don't ever want to give me darshan, then I'm happy. Because tat sukha sukhitvam. Narad ji has said in his Narad Bhakti darshan, tat sukha sukhitvam. To be happy in the happiness of the beloved. That is the highest concept in devotion. The selfless gopis live by this principle. Tat sukha sukhitvam. These selfless gopis are so great, such is their caliber, that Uddhav, the Paramhans Uddhav, he desires the dust of their lotus feet. In the Bhagavad, Uddhav ji is saying, and keep in mind that he's the greatest jnani of his time. There's no one who has more knowledge of scriptures than Uddhav. And he is a dear friend of Sri Krishna. And what is he saying? After visiting the gopis, Asamaho charana renu jushamaham syam vrindavane kimapi gulmalataushadhinam yadustyajanso janamarya pathancha hitva bhejur mukunda padavim shrutibhirvimrigyam. He's crying out to Sri Krishna, Oh Madhav, if I could have the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis, I am willing to take any form. Not only as a creature, not only as a moving creature such as a mobile creature such as an insect, bird, animal. I am willing to become a plant or a tree, a creeper, anything, on the condition that I attain residence in Braj and I always have the dust of the gopis' lotus feet. This is Jnani, the greatest knower of scriptures of his time, Uddhav. That is his desire. And these gopis are illiterate, outwardly illiterate. And one of the lowest class of gopis are those that are verses of the Vedas who have taken the female form. And reading these verses of the Vedas, Uddhav has become a Jnani in the first place. And what to speak of Uddhav? Even Srishtikarta, the creator Brahmaji says, Tad bhuri bhagya miha janma kimapyatavyam yad gokule pikatamanghrirajobhishekam yad jivitam tu nikhilam bhagavan mukundastwadyapi yat padarajah shruti mrigyameva. Bhagavatam. Brahmaji, who can create something out of nothing. There was nothing, no building blocks, and Brahmaji everything out of nothing. And yet that Brahmaji is saying, it would be my great fortune to receive the dust of the gopis' lotus feet. These gopis are the greatest of all devotees, and the greatest amongst the devotees of the gopis are the selfless gopis, Nishkam gopis. And these gopis are impossible to understand, just as God is impossible to understand. It is said of God, Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasaha avigyatam vijanatam vigyatam avijanatam ved. If you say that you have understood God, then you have understood nothing. And if you understand that God cannot be understood, you have understood everything. God cannot be understood using the limited and material senses, mind, and intellect. Just as we cannot know God, in the same way we cannot know the greatness of these gopis. Just as we cannot understand God, so we cannot understand the gopis. Sometimes these gopis are such that Shravaso Kuvalaya Makshno Ranjanam Muraso Mahendra Manidam Vrindavan Taruninam Mandanam Akhilam Harir Jayati. A gopi says, I want everything blue. She says, I want to wear a blue sari, a blue lehenga. I want blue collyrium, kajal in my eyes. I want to wear a necklace made of sapphire, blue, Indra Neelmani. I want everything blue. Clothing must be blue, ornaments must be blue, everything must be blue. Because my beloved, Shyam Sundar, his complexion is blue. And at times, the same gopi says, I want nothing that is blue or black. Nothing. Oh, these dark ones, referring to Sri Krishna, they are so treacherous, you cannot trust them. They are unfaithful. Oh, he is like a bumblebee that goes from one flower to the next. He's fickle. And she shows her displeasure and she says, I want nothing to do with blue or black. So now she changes the color of her clothing. She wears different clothes. She takes the collyrium out of her eyes. I don't want blue kajal. She takes away the necklace. I don't want anything to do with blue. No blue color. But another gopi says, what are you going to do with your hair? It's very dark. It's black, jet black. She says, I have a solution for that. What is that? Dhulir dhrita mastake. I'll throw dust in my hair. My hair will no longer be black because I want nothing to do with black or blue, nothing. So it's impossible to understand these gopis. They manifest their love, they reveal their love in many ways, but to an extent that is the same in worldly love too. A mother shows her love towards a child sometimes by embracing her and by being very affectionate towards her and giving her candies. And sometimes the same mother shows her love towards her same child by pushing the child away. You have misbehaved, snatching the candy from the child's hand. No, you have a tummy ache, you cannot eat this. So in both scenarios, the mother loves her child. Love manifests in many different ways. So these gopis, their love is very unique. Sometimes they are going gaga over Sri Krishna, and sometimes they just, no, I'm repulsed by him. I don't want to hear anything about him. These gopis are so dear to Sri Krishna that once Arjun asked, Maharaj, you say so much about the gopis, you talk about them so much, but why? Why are they so dear to you? And Sri Krishna said, these gopis, do you know how much they love me, Arjun? Nijangamapi yagopyo mameti samupasate tabhyah param na me parth nigudha prema bhajanam Adi Puran. Oh Parth, oh Arjun, do you know how much these gopis love me? They love me so much that they are not even attached to their body. Everyone is attached to their own body. You feel the greatest attachment towards your body. But these gopis view their bodies as vehicles through which they serve me. So they keep their body healthy and they keep their body alive because they feel that through this body of theirs they can serve me, and they believe fully that their bodies don't belong to them. The gopi feels that this body of mine does not belong to me, it belongs to my beloved Shyam Sundar. So Arjun, you don't understand that these gopis live for me and they'll die for me. I am their world. But what relationship do you have with them? Who are they to you? Asked Arjun. And Shri Krishna said, Sahaya Guravah Shishya Bhujishya Bandhava Striya Satyam Vadami Te Parth Gopyah Kimme Bhavantina. Adi Puran. Arjun, you ask me what these gopis are to me. Ask me rather what they are not to me, for they are my everything. They are my helpers, they are my gurus, they are my disciples, they are my nearest and dearest, they are my kith and kin, they are everything to me. Gopyah kim me bhavantina. What are they not to me? They are my everything. Again, Shri Krishna says, Na tatha me priyatam atmayo nirna shankara na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yatha bhavan. My love for them is greater than my love for anyone else. Atmayonir na shankara na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yatha bhavan. My Atmayoni, meaning Brahma, my mind-born son, Brahma is not so dear to me as are these gopis. Shankar is not as dear to me as are these gopis. Mahalakshmi, Shri, is not as dear to me. My eternal consort is not as dear to me as are these gopis. What to say more? Even my Atma, even I am not as dear to myself as the gopis are to me. Naiva Atma cha yatha bhavan. I love these gopis so much, says Shri Krishna. So although there are different classes of gopis, yet Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj has taught the entire world the lesson of selfless love. Shri Maharaji has said, go to the topmost, go to the highest level, love him selflessly. There should be no selfish desire. Zere दीवार खड़े हैं तेरा क्या लेते हैं, ज़ेरे दीवार खड़े हैं तेरा क्या लेते हैं, देख लेते हैं तपिश दिल की बुझा लेते हैं. One of the compositions of Shri Maharaji. There's a gopi who is looking at Shyam Sundar from a distance, taking the shelter of a wall. She's sneaking peeks at him, and she thinks to herself, she said, I am looking at my beloved, and that is enough for me. That is enough. It gives me so much happiness, that fire of virah, separation that is burning inside of me, it gets some relief when I look at him. And she's just looking at him. She does not say that, oh, I want his touch also. I want that he should be looking at me. I want an interaction with him. Nothing like that. She's just looking at him and she feels satisfied. She feels happy. She's so selfless. And then there is a shlok in the Bhagavad Puran, Bhagavad Mahapuran, the greatest of all the 18 Purans, that Sri Maharaji used to call an atomic shlok. Yatte sujata charanam buruhanstaneshu bhita shanaihi priyadadhi mahi karkasheshu Te natavi matasi tadvyathate na kinsvitkur padibhir bhramati dhir bhavadayushamna. A gopi says, and this is a selfless gopi, she says, "Oh my beloved, when I have a rare opportunity to take the soles of your lotus feet and press them to my heart, I do so bhitah. I do so with fear. Fear? Fear that my heart is so tough and the soles of your lotus feet are infinitely soft. So I am afraid that I may hurt your lotus feet. I do it with fear and shanaihi. I do it very, very gently." This is a powerful shlok because it shows us the extent of the gopi's love. When in this world, let's say you love someone and you haven't seen your loved one, it could be your child, it could be your spouse, it could be anyone, but you have not seen your loved one for a long time. Let's say it's a mother and child, and the child, when the mother sees her child once again, she wants to embrace him very, very tightly. So the child is very small, but the mother picks him up and embraces him so tightly that the child starts crying. But why has she made him cry? Oh, unintentionally. But why couldn't she just embrace him very gently? No, she wouldn't receive the same happiness as she does when she embraces him very tightly. So she gets lost in her own happiness. She does not take into consideration the pain that she's putting her child through. And keep in mind that what we call happiness is not real happiness. That's not true happiness that she's experiencing from her child. But the gopi is experiencing unlimited happiness, genuine happiness. Nectar flows from the body of Sri Krishna and especially from his lotus feet. And she has the lotus feet pressed to her heart, and she does so very, very gently because she's afraid that she may hurt him. When she's receiving such happiness, what concern does she have with his happiness? That she should just embrace them very, very tightly. But she does not forget his happiness, even though she is receiving unlimited happiness. That is why this shlok is called an atomic shlok by Sri Maharaj Ji. That it's amazing that the gopis love him so much that they always keep his happiness in mind. Never forgetting. A gopi is fanning Lord Krishna as he's sleeping. And she derives so much happiness from performing this seva that tears of love and tears of happiness come into her eyes. But she scolds herself. She does not want these tears. She does not want that happiness, because this happiness that she is experiencing has come in the way of her uninterrupted service. The gopi is fanning Sri Krishna. Now tears come in her eyes. Now she has to wipe them. And that means she cannot do her seva properly. There's a break in the seva. So, Uchchaira Ninda Dananda Maravinda Vilochana. So she criticizes her own happiness. I don't want you, O happiness, because you have created an obstacle in serving my beloved. This is the level of the selfless gopis. These selfless gopis are the role models for us. They ought to be regarded as our role models. And Sri Maharaj Ji has praised them so highly. Sri Maharaj Ji, Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj has named Valentine's Day Gopi Prem Divas. The day when we honor the gopis' love for Sri Krishna, the selfless gopis. Sri Maharaj Ji said, why should you call it Valentine's Day? Why should it be about the world? Why should it be about giving flowers and chocolate and pieces of jewelry? Maharaj Ji कहते थे पूरे साल भर गाली गलौज पिटाई और एक दिन उपहार. एक दिन प्यार जताओ, बाकी समय लड़ाई झगड़ा करो. So Sri Maharaj Ji, when he found out about this festival, Sri Maharaj Ji immediately changed it to Gopi Prem Divas. Now we observe Gopi Prem Divas. We honor the love that the gopis have for Sri Krishna, and we try to emulate. We should try to emulate that love. There is nothing beyond gopis' love for Sri Krishna. This is why Narad Ji, when he was thinking about the name of a devotee that he could give, because he wrote about love in Narad Bhakti Darshan. Narad Ji has written many scriptures, but the topmost scripture of his is Narad Bhakti Darshan. And in it, Narad Ji talks about love. Narad Ji thought, I should give an example of a devotee who loves God like this, following these principles of love. Now he could have said, love God like I, Narad, love him. He said, no. Love him like the gopis love him. Yatha Braj Gopika Naam. Narad Ji is so great that he's not just a saint, which is to say a lot. He's not only God realized, he is a partial manifestation of God himself. And yet he is praising the gopis. And there's a very sweet story that most of you have heard, I'm sure, but I will repeat it. It is about the greatness of the gopis' love and how Sri Krishna brought that out. Once when Sri Krishna was Dwarikadhish, when he was the king of Dwarika during that time, the queens, the 16,108 queens, and 8 of them were the main ones, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Lakshmana, etc. They wondered about the gopis. Who are these gopis? Rukmini ji used to wonder about the gopis. Who are these gopis? So Sri Krishna acted as if he had a severe headache. He said, my head will split open any moment. And the queens, they were devastated. And they tried many ways to cure him, but nothing worked. And when all this commotion was going on, because Sri Krishna lived in 16,108 palaces, in 16,108 forms. So one Sri Krishna with every queen. All the queens are devastated, and there's a huge commotion going on, and Narad Ji comes. Narayan and Narayan. Narad Ji says, mothers, what is going on? And they told him what is going on. And they said, Narad Ji, you please go see what you can do. Narad Ji went to Sri Krishna and said, Maharaj, ye kaisi leela hai aaj aapki? What is this leela all about? Sri Krishna still did not stop acting. He said, what leela? Narad, I am dying and you're speaking about leela? Maharaj, please tell me, what medication will work on you? So Sri Krishna had to finally say, Bhakton ki padraj, the dust of a devotee's feet. Dust? That should be easy. I'm a devotee. I can give my foot dust. And Narad Ji started thinking, what will people say about this? My reputation will be tarnished. I gave my foot dust to my Lord? No. And then I don't know what tricks he's up to. He's a trickster. So I'm not going to get involved, but I will ask Rukmini ji and Satyabhama ji. So he went to them and he said, Mother, please give your foot dust. Why? For your husband. Are you mad? On the one hand, they're saying Narad ji touching his feet, and on the other hand, they're saying, are you mad? Have you gone crazy, Narad ji? Have you lost your mind? We are his wives. We cannot give the dust of our feet. Think of the hell that we'll go to. For how long? And what will people say? And people will always know this about us. We cannot give the dust of our feet. Narad Ji had to go back. He asked Sri Krishna, where will I get the foot dust? Which devotees? And Sri Krishna said, go to Braj and the gopis will give that to you. He went went to the land of Braj, and the gopis immediately, when they heard about Sri Krishna's predicament, they spread out their feet and they said, take all the dust you want. Naraji said, are you not afraid of public opinion? Are you not afraid of the torments of hell? They said, Naraji, there's no time to talk. Our beloved Shyamsundar is suffering so much, and you're asking us these questions? Please go first, give him this medication, then come back to us, and we will give you a lecture. Naraji mentally did pranam to the gopis. He took a little bit of the dust, put it in his mouth as Mahaprasad, transported himself back to Dwarika. He gave the foot dust, and Sri Krishna was perfectly fine. Sri Krishna taught the queens that their love for him has a tinge of selfishness in it. The queens love Sri Krishna and they only desire Sri Krishna, but there is a tinge of pride in their love that comes from being his wives. That, oh, he's our husband, we can have access to him anytime we want. So there is a Patni Bhava Bhimanatvad Shravanadi Gunadija. Ujjwal Neelmani scripture says there's a tinge of pride in these queens. Also, they belong to Samanjasa Rati love. In Madhure Bhav, loving him as a beloved, your love may be Sadharani Rati, Kubja, or Samanjasa Rati, like the love of the queens, or Samartha Rati, the selfless love of the gopis. So, the Sadharani Rati devotees want only their happiness from Sri Krishna. Samanjasa Rati devotees, these queens, they want his happiness, but they also want theirs. And Samanjasa Rati devotees, gopis, they want only his happiness with no concern for their own happiness. So the queens were greatly embarrassed, and they understood why he spoke so highly of the gopis. One such gopi was suffering greatly due to separation from Sri Krishna. And she wanted to express her sentiments in a letter, but there was a problem. She was illiterate. She couldn't write a letter, so she thought, how do I want to send him a letter, but who will write that letter for me? I cannot go to someone who's educated and say, this is what I want to say to my beloved, because that I will not do. I cannot express my innermost thoughts to a stranger. So she held the piece of paper and she just sent it just like that. And Sri Krishna received the letter in Dwarika. And when he saw the piece of paper, he started to cry. Rukmini ji was sitting by his side and she said, Maharaj, who has sent you a letter that has made you cry? A gopi has sent me this letter. What does she say? Read it. Rukmini ji took the letter up and there was no writing on it. Is it invisible ink? No. Rukmini, you have to know how to read this letter. But Maharaj, there's nothing written. Shri Krishna said, Tar jhurasi upar gari aur kajjal jal chirkai tiyapati binuhi likhi vanchi virah balai. Oh Rukmini, the gopi is illiterate. She doesn't know how to write. She held on to this paper. And the fire of separation from me, viraki agni, it is so bright, it's shining so brightly within her. It's burning her so much from inside that it goes to her fingertips. And where she held on to the letter, see, the letter has scorch marks on it. And the gopi felt helpless. She doesn't know how to write. She cannot have another person know her innermost feelings. So tears came to her eyes and they fell on the teardrops fell on the paper. And she had collyrium, kajal in her eyes, so there are black marks. And because of her tears, the paper has melted at certain places. Oh. Shri Krishna said, there's so much written in this letter. So Shri Krishna understood immediately that this gopi is suffering from separation. That fire of separation is burning so brightly within her. But even so, the gopis never fell out of love. Because when there is selfless love, where there's nishkamta, you cannot fall out of love. And where there's a worldly sakamta, and if you're loving God for the purpose of receiving something from Him, I'm not talking about sakam bhakt, I'm just talking about being selfish, going to God to ask Him for health, wealth, name, fame, and the rest, then we cannot become devotees of God. We're asking Him for so many things, and if, due to our destiny, we receive some of those things, we will give credit to God. You might say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with that, because when we don't get what we want, we'll put the blame on Him also. And then people say at that point, oh, I don't have any faith in God. No, there's no such thing as God. Bhagwan naam ki koi chidiya nahi hai. Ye sab aise hi. There are some people who became old and they were miserable. They went to the woods and they had so much time to think for themselves, and they said, let's create this monster called God. And so people can become scared. And so they came up with this notion of God, but there's no such thing. You are saying this? You used to say, oh, I love Shri Krishna so much. That's when He was giving me things. That's when I made my millions, so I gave Him the credit for that. I wanted a child, so with His grace I got a child. But now He took everything away. I don't believe in Him. I have no faith in Him. He does not exist. So as long as we are asking Him for this and that, we cannot become devotees. We cannot become true lovers of God. But if you are a selfless devotee, then you cannot fall out of love. So a selfless devotee says, Asundara Sundara Shekharova Gunair Vihino Guninam Barova Dveshi Mayisyat Karunam Budhirva Krishna Sa Evadya Gatirmamayam. Some say Krishna is most beautiful, others say He's not at all beautiful. Some say that He has every virtue possible. He's the abode of unlimited virtues. Others say He has no good quality to speak of. It doesn't matter to me how He is. Whether He is very, very beautiful or not at all beautiful does not matter to me. It's irrelevant. Whether He has unlimited virtues or none to speak of, that is inconsequential. It doesn't matter to me. I just love Him, and He will be my one and only. Even if He puts an end to my life, even if He becomes my enemy and puts an end to my life, I will still be in love with Him. Dveshi mayisyat. If He becomes my enemy, I will still love Him. Whether He is kind to me or cruel towards me, it doesn't matter. Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said, oh Krishna, you can behave with me in 3 different ways. You can, number 1, you can embrace me lovingly. Number 2, you can reject me. Number 3, you can become neutral towards me. But it doesn't matter how you treat me, you will always be my one and only. So the selfless gopis, the Samartharati gopis, they are the highest of all. They are of the highest caliber. And these are the gopis who participate in the Maharas. When we hear about the Maharas and we hear that the gopis left at that midnight hour when they heard the sound of Krishna's flute, they were not all the gopis. Only the selfless gopis, the Samartharati gopis, only they heard the sound. They are the ones who dropped everything and they rushed towards the sound of the flute. It wasn't all the gopis. It was the Samartharati gopis. And Shri Maharaji has said, referred to this in a kirtan, Rati Samartha ki gopi bana de, Ras mein naam mera likha de. When you're making a list of gopis who will be coming to the Maharas, my Lord, please write my name as one of the Samartharati gopis. That is my heartfelt desire. So Samartharati gopis are the ones who go to the Maharas, where the sweetest nectar, divine nectar, is distributed. The other gopis didn't even hear the sound. And some of them heard it. They went there, and Shri Krishna tested all the gopis because he said, "What are you doing here at midnight? You are virtuous women. You are married women. And you have come here in the middle of the night to be with a man who is not your husband? You must go back immediately. Your husbands are looking for you. Your children are crying for you. Your cows and calves, your property. You need to take care of them." And some of the gopis left. All of them didn't pass the test. Some of them left. Indeed, we have to go back. So they left. But the Samartharati gopis did not leave. They stood their ground. And he tested them. "Oh, it doesn't matter how a husband is. He may be a fool. He may be cruel. He may be this. He may be that. But if a woman wants to enter the gates of Swargalok, she should not renounce her husband." And the gopis, who are the lowest amongst them are the Vedic verses, they had unlimited knowledge. So they said, "Well, Maharaj, you're saying," and he said, "Granted that he is not a sinner. So it doesn't matter how your husband is." And people say that about Hindu scriptures. Look in the Bhagavad, it says, Shri Krishna is saying to the gopis, a husband should not be renounced, no matter how much he beats you. He's very, very cruel. He mistreats you. But, it doesn't matter how he is. You must never leave him. But Shri Krishna said, after that, he said, he should not be pataki, granted that he's not a sinner. And the gopis said, "Maharaj, if our husbands stop us from coming to you, you are the Param Purush, you are the supreme husband of all, then they are indeed the greatest sinners, are they not?" So they stood their ground. They passed all the tests. And Shri Krishna tested them. And the gopis are thinking, test after test. But he has to test. So now only the Samartharati gopis were left, and they are the ones who received the nectar of the Maharas, the sweetest nectar, for one kalp, one day of Brahma. It was a very, very long night. Shri Krishna shrinked it to one night, but it was actually billions of years. So, millions of years, I should say. One kalp, actually, 4,294,080,000 years. And the whole world felt that it was just one night that had passed. But one night of Maharas would not have been enough. So Shri Krishna gave this nectar of the Maharas to the Samartharati gopis for one kalp. And Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, Shri Maharaji, descended to earth in Kali Yuga. And he talked about Gopi Prem, and he described it. He explained it fully, and he inspired everyone to love Shri Krishna as the gopis love him. Love him as the beloved. The highest relationship is the lover-beloved relationship, Madhurya Bhav. And then you can go into all the other relationships. You can love him as your child, your best friend, your Lord and Master, anytime you want, because you're at the highest level, highest relationship. And then love him as a beloved and love him without any selfishness. No desire. In Kali Yuga, Jagadguru Tam, fifth Jagadguru and best of all Jagadgurus, as proclaimed by 500 scholars of Kashi Vidvat Parishad, Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj has taught the greatest lesson. And I would like you to think about this a little bit, or a lot. At the very least, a little bit about the gravity of the great fortune that we have been blessed with. That we are living in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we think this physical body to be the self. And we are deeply attached to the material world. And in this Kali Yuga, we who are deeply attached to the world, we should have access to a divine personality who taught the world about Gopi Prem. It is mind-boggling that we have these teachings, that we have these beautiful bhajans and kirtans that just take our breath away. And through his lectures, through his divine compositions, lyrical compositions, Sri Maharaj Ji teaches us about Gopi Prem. Ultimately, it is Gopi Prem, Gopi Prem, Gopi Prem. Love him as the gopis have loved him. This is what Sri Maharaj Ji has taught. Selfless love for Sri Krishna. बोलिए श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय. भक्ति योग रसावतार भगवद अनंत श्री विभूषित जगत गुरुत्तम श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की जय. गोपी प्रेम की जय. You're speaking in very low volume like you're hungry. बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय. जय जय श्री राधे. जय जय श्री राधे.